Hey, what's going on, fam? So this is another quick video. It's kind of a part two to my last video, but not really. Um, but just on my last video to touch on it real quick before I address the subject of this video. Again, if the down ballot strategy, just one more time, so somebody can answer this for me. Some non-troll ADOS follower can answer this for me. I'm praying that somebody can, even though I doubt it because from the evidence I've seen so far, I doubt that they can answer it. But the question is, if the down ballot strategy was all about the primaries, okay, fine, you go and you Democrat down ballot for the primary, fine. Do you not still have to participate in the election after the primary? Otherwise, what's the point? So you got this person nominated for the Democrat nomination. Let's say they're going to provide reparations. Let's say you got Yvette Carnell nominated to be the Democrat representative, or Antonio Moore. Let's say you got Antonio Moore nominated because everybody all the ADOS in LA, they went out and they voted and they got Antonio Moore to be the Democrat nominee for city councilman because they all voted in the city councilman primary and they wrote in Antonio Moore and he actually won the nomination in LA. Let's say that hypothetically. Is that the end of the strategy, or do you not still have to go and vote in the general election? And if you have to go do both, in order to understand or in order to make sure that your primary voted candidate won. Is the down ballot strategy not also about the general election? If what I just described was their strategy, go in and vote and get Antonio Moore or whoever else voted to be the nominee of the primary, why didn't they mention that? Why didn't they say, hey, our goal is to make sure that we get pro-reparations candidates nominated in the primary, and then we're going to go vote in the general for those people that we got nominated in the primary? Why would you go and waste your time writing in ADOS on a primary ballot when somebody has to win that primary because that party's not going to forfeit unless they know that the other party just is going to blow them out the water? That's the only time parties forfeit their primary, is when they are just in a deep red district or state and they know they have no chance of winning, so they don't even run against the Republican, or vice versa. I've lived in areas where Republicans don't even run because they know they have no chance of winning. But outside of that, which is still a waste of time, why are you going to waste your time writing in on a primary ballot when you then have to go to the general election and still write in again? When the primary does not go towards actually electing anyone, all it does is nominate someone to run for election. So somebody please explain to me, what is the point of voting only in the primary? And if you are not only voting in the primary, then it's what we have been saying, that is a general election strategy. So why are you bringing up the primary when still, whether you down ballot in the primary or not, you still have to go and vote in the general election for that primary voting to matter? Even if you didn't vote in the primary, you can still vote in the general election based on who got nominated after the primary. So I just want somebody to help me understand this, because all of this confusing talk, and every time Yvette and Tone defend themselves, they come out with something new that they didn't say before, like this primary babble. This primary babble is a horrible look. It is a horrible look for Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore. And despite as much as I've been criticizing them, I've been giving them a lot of chance, especially compared to a lot of other people who are FBAs. I've been giving them a lot of mercy. I've been giving them a lot of fairness. I've been giving them a lot of benefit of the doubt. But all benefit of the doubt is starting to run out if I don't get a good explanation for this primary babble. I will have no choice but to believe the quote-unquote conspiracy theory that these people are Democratic shills. I don't give a damn that there's some other people talking about ADOS is MAGA. If they keep talking this primary babble, and I can't get a good explanation either from them or from their followers, I will have no choice but to assume that Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore have been running a Democratic sheepdog operation, and they are shills for the Democrats. Because that is the absolutely most ludicrous. This primary talk is the most ludicrous thing I have ever heard come out of Antonio Moore or Yvette Carnell's mouth. I know this specifically came out of Yvette Carnell's mouth, but it is absolutely ludicrous. But I digress, fam, because I haven't even gotten into the reason why, or the topic of this video. So the topic of this video is a question, and that's what happened to the no black, or what happened to the black agenda? What happened to the black agenda? That's why I have this same tweet back up. Look what it says. We voted to raise minimum wage in our state. What did Yvette Carnell say when she was being all matter of fact about trying to educate all us ignorant people on all the stuff that's on the ballot that has nothing to do with a candidate, even though she finds it hard to believe that there's no candidate to vote for, even though she can't tell us one, since it's so hard to believe, but you still, Yvette Carnell, since you find it so hard to believe, tell us one black agenda candidate that's on somebody's ballot, and then tell us how that applies to the rest of us who that candidate is not on our ballot. Name one black agenda candidate. Outside of that Tamara Shealy woman, name one black agenda candidate, since you are so certain that no matter where you live in the state, no matter where you live in this country, there's somebody for you to vote for. That's number one. Show me one candidate outside that Tamara Shealy woman that is actually has somewhat even remotely something that looks like a black agenda. That's number one. And then tell me how that one candidate applies to the masses of ADOS across this country who don't live in that district or that city or whatever they're running for, that state, whatever they're running for. Tell me one nationwide candidate that's running for a black agenda outside of that Tamara Shealy woman. That's number one. Number two, didn't Yvette and Tone always say, and this is back on the what happened to the black agenda, didn't Yvette Antone always say, yes, these universal policies are nice. Yes, we can have Medicare for all. Yes, we can have student loan forgiveness, but only after you pay what you owe to the descendants of slaves. This is what they said over and over and over as far as sticking to the black agenda. Yes, nice, Bernie, to have student loan forgiveness. Yes, nice to have minimum wage, but you haven't taken care of the descendants of slaves, and none of these policies close the wealth gap. This is what they've said. But now all of a sudden there's a lot of talk about, and that's why I'm using the same tweet, about minimum wage, about something to vote for. What happened to standing on your square because all of these other policies, yes, they're nice, but they don't close the wealth gap? Now all of a sudden it's this talk that this is the same logic that can be used to justify voting for Bernie Sanders or whoever wins the Democratic nomination. Yeah, he doesn't have a black agenda. Yeah, he's only talking HR 40, but he has student loan forgiveness, and that's something for me to vote for. But he has Medicare for all, and that's something for me to vote for. What happened to standing on the square of the black agenda? That's my question. It's a simple question. Because we've gone from standing on the square of the black agenda to, oh, go vote for something. What's the point of fighting for reparations if you're going to submit all your leverage by showing, hey, if you present any other policy that could potentially help me, I'm still going to vote for you? This is the counterpoint we've been getting all this time. From the moment that Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore's ADOS blew up, the main thing that people have been coming at ADOS and Yvette Carnell with is, hey, you gotta still vote. This is the thing that Roland Martin and all the Boule Shields have been coming in. Hey, you still gotta vote because even though they don't support reparations, they still got criminal justice reform. They still got Medicare for all. They still got student loan forgiveness. They still got health care this and whatever. Universal basic income. Which every time Yvette Carnell up until recently and Antonio Moore have been approached with these kind of talk about all these other policies that could help us too, they've been like yes but no, because they aren't a black agenda policy. They aren't closing the wealth gap. They aren't specifically addressing the condition of American descendants of slaves. We've gone from we need policies to specifically address the condition of American slaves to you need to go vote for any policy that could potentially help you and benefit you. This is this is Democrat shill talk. And if that's not what they meant for to come across, why are their followers coming away with that message as you see up on your screen for the screen cap? Why are their followers coming away with the message that they need to vote for something? Why is this woman that's on your screen, or the tweet that's on your screen from a woman that's a follower of Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore, talking about the minimum wage? That ain't got nothing to do with closing the wealth gap for the descendants of slaves. What happened to standing on that square? But anyway, fam, I don't want this video to be long, so that's really all I have to say. Hopefully somebody can answer the two questions that I asked in this video. So anyway, fam, that's it. That's another video. Like, share, subscribe, and peace.